Wednesday. I'm just checking in as I prepare my ritual first meal. You hear Sweet Bear down there getting her some water. It's rainy here right now. We are about an hour past the eclipse, the actual peak of the solar eclipse in Libra, I should say. So the baleful rays should be subsiding, although I will say that eclipse energy is known to last long after the actual event. I mean, you know, the energies affect us all, so naturally, sometimes an energy reset, when that occurs, tends to have sort of an indefinite effect, for better or worse, you know, depending on the circumstances of your life in the year preceding the eclipse. And this one especially being in Libra, there's a lot of karmic elements. We've got our South Node also in Libra, Sun in Libra with the eclipse, obviously, and then, you know, we just have a lot of sort of events that feel, I don't know, faded, but more so baked in, inevitable and baked in as a result of long-standing behavior in most cases, or long-standing patterns. So I find that there should be no huge surprises going on in anyone's life. Anyone that has at least been somewhat tuned in to their behaviors and, you know, the work that they've put in this year. So we've got our bread buttered. Heat it in the oven, and I prepare our avocado, of course. I don't know if anybody knows this, but if you've got avocados and you buy them in bundles, which it's often more economical to do that, you keep them in water in the fridge to prolong their shelf life. You know, kind of freeze them in time in that perfect state, tenderness and ripeness, so they don't cross that boundary into the mushy. Just thought you would like to know that trick, because sometimes you go to the store and you'll realize that the bag of like 4 or sometimes 5 or 6, you know, they're all kind of right there at ripeness. You know, they're all perfectly ripe, but often we're not using all of them in a day, you know, unless you're making some sort of recipe. But for me, you know, if I'm dragging it out over the course of a week, I kind of need them all to stay where they are. If I'm going to buy a bag where pretty much all of them are ripe. So here we've got our just right avocado that has basically been this way for days. Because if there's something that really, really throws me off in terms of getting excited about my ritual first meal, having the avocado past its prime. It's my little thing. So I like to just implement these little life hacks, I guess you might say, kitchen hacks, because it can often make everything else feel like it's going a lot more smoothly. I do hope everybody does something today that makes them feel cozy. I know that Saturdays there's often this pressure to make something in the day. You know, yeah, it's definitely good to contemplate your free time and how it can best be used to serve you. I mean, whoever's trying to bust a move over here, find little pieces of fallen kibble on the floor. But yeah, you know, not everything has to be about hyper productivity. It's sometimes the productive thing in an overextended person's life is to slow down. Saturday is, after all, Saturn's Day. Saturn, what do we know about Saturn? Saturn is about delayed gratification. Saturn is about boundaries, limits, discipline, putting in effort long term in order to yield a reward down the road. And I would say that perhaps there's no better characterization of the need for rest in somebody with, especially if you've got ambition, especially if you've got important things on the horizon for yourself. It's not going to be any good if you're just depleted, you know? Depleted energy-wise, but also depleted, like, your enthusiasm, you know? Even the most grand, exciting endeavor requires full tank version of you at times, especially when you're just getting it going, you know? And especially if you're embarking on something new, you know, you can often get down on yourself or feel apprehensive or get anxiety and wonder, you know, am I cut out for this? What am I doing? I need to do better. And, you know, you naturally are gonna be analyzing and overanalyzing sometimes. So you want to have the best version of yourself, because there are so many unknowns, so many variables that you can't control. That's also kind of where this ritual first meal comes in, you know. If you can't afford, due to life circumstances, to feel less than optimal, then you need to make sure all of the things that you know you're going to have to do, which is feed yourself, are kind of on this autopilot of, I've thought about this ahead of time, implemented the structure, and now I know that all of my reserves can be spent on my creativity. So that being said, I do hope you take care of yourselves. Happy Saturn's Day.